Like a lot of sequels, Twisters takes the original film's title, slaps an S on the end and calls it a day, but displays amazing restraint on the part of the filmmakers by not having 50 Twisters just have-atting it at once. There are briefly 2 of them at the same time, but for the most part, the Twisters form an orderly queue and come one by one. But we do have antes to up here, so they do blow up more stuff than they used to, and one does turn into a column of fire like a badass. Unlike a lot of sequels, Twisters takes very little from the original film's content. None of the original characters turn up, no one is related to any of them, and apart from the Dorothy scanner balls, this dude owning a red truck and the font the title's written in, the only thing recognisable from the original are the Twisters themselves, which aren't exactly licensable IP. There are, however, gentle nods towards the original, like when they take a breather from all this storm chasing bollocks to enjoy some character development, this time at a rodeo, only for our hero's budding romance to be rudely interrupted by a gate-crashing tornado. One other nod is the idea of there being 2 competing teams, one made of high-tech polo shirts, the other of country music redneck treebeards. The twist is that this time our main lass, Kate, has joined the high-tech polo shirts with her old college chum, while the country music lads are painted as loud, obnoxious, YouTubing, merch store-owning douche canoes. That is until halfway through when a penny drops and it turns out that Lafayette over here has just been selling his storm data to a landowner who can use it to fuck over storm victims, while our good old country boys have a YouTube channel and merch store to raise money to provide storm relief to the victims. All in all, Twisters is a surprisingly good time, with only a general flavour of the original to give you a warm fuzzy like you're spending time with an old friend, without retreading the same old ground. The cast are fine and the characters are about as deep as they need to be for what is essentially a shiny version of a 90s action flick. One particular nod to 90s action films that I liked was the cliffhanger style I'm an expert in something but despite my expertise a bunch of people die opening scene, where Kate is an expert in something and despite her expertise a bunch of people die, shortly followed by a 5 years later title card and a scene where she reunites with Lafayette and he tells her you need to get back in the game and you're the only one who can do this for some reason, as well as what happened isn't your fault. Does he tell her later on that he actually thinks it is her fault? Like fucking clockwork he does. I'm fairly positive on this film, though I do have one negative, and that's the music. In one crucial scene, our heroine faces down a tornado, and you can imagine the roar of the tornado, the howl of the wind, the ground shaking underfoot, buildings ripping apart, shit exploding around her. The problem is that you do have to imagine all those things, because instead of letting you just hear what's going on, they cover it with a booming action movie soundtrack, which kind of biffs it all. But hey ho, that's Twisters. Does everything make sense? No. But then again, a third of the dialogue is about pickup trucks, another third is about wind velocity calculations, and the final third is people just screaming at shit. So I wouldn't get hung up on the sense of everything, and just enjoy yourselves. 7 out of 10.